Young true disciples hears more instructions that Paul gives to Timothy. He says, "Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters with all purity, honor widows that are widows indeed," etc. Paul gave advice concerning older and younger individuals in the church. Becoming a follower of Christ increases family and social responsibility. Believers have a God-given responsibility to provide for their children's needs while also making sure that elderly members of a family are properly cared for as they face the challenges of aging. Likewise, a local church body is a family that respects and cares for one another. Older members are to be respected like mothers or fathers, while younger members are to be loved like brothers and sisters. Churches are to be especially mindful of widows. In Paul's day, many of the widows were without provision and protection. How should you and I respond to this? There was a time when respect for older members of society was not only taught but also expected. While it isn't absolute, it has become a rarity. What is your attitude towards older members of your family? How can you help meet the physical needs of the widow in your church? If you're part of an older generation, look for younger men and women with teachable attitudes who can benefit from your experience and wisdom. Generation gaps will always exist. Nevertheless, each generation is responsible for caring for the one before and after it. That's how you put your religion into practice. So it's not about younger people thinking that older people know too much, or older people thinking that younger don't know enough. But it's about, first of all, respecting one another, and of course, with the love of God. That's what we should have. And just a quick, the word rebuke, we hear it as always, oftentimes as reproach or correction, that is a definition of that or meaning. But there's also another meaning to when you rebuke someone, meaning when you don't place value upon that person, or you look at them in a stern sense of disapproval. So we oftentimes see in the church today that there's a lot of, whether younger or older, towards each other, don't put value upon each other, thinking that, oh, we don't need older people in the church. And then, because most times we hear that or we see that and thinking, oh, that you're older, y'all don't know anything, this is the new age. But no, it's important that we have all generations in the body of Christ. That's what it's about. God always intended for it to be that way, just like family. So just to remind us, younger people, especially these younger people these days, that are very disrespectful in general to older people and to really their peers as well. And then, of course, you have some older people that don't respect younger people as well. But we have to remember, as a body of Christ, whether we're having to show this to our families and as well in the church and as well as outside the church. So remember that we are all God's creation and we're all here for a purpose, and that must be valued and it must be honored. Be blessed.